Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. On behalf of Weigel's Fuel and Food that's fast, fresh, and friendly, here's a quick Weigel's update. Did you know they actually have a moon pie milk? This is also what might be reminiscent of your childhood. Everybody remembers the moon pie. Oh yes, but imagine it's now in the form of a milk, a sippable treat, and it's available for just a limited time. Check it out at a Weigel's near you. The moon pie milk, it's out of this world. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. And if you haven't picked it up, just know that they do keep these on the shelves for just a limited time. So you want to pick up not only just the maybe the quart, pick up a couple of bottles. In fact, it might go pretty quickly in your household as it does in mine. The moon pie milk available now at a Weigel's near you. By the way, I want to talk about the visibility. We'll talk about the reduced visibility perhaps in the Smokies. There is some patches of fog potentially where you see some gray areas. I see 3 miles there in Sevierville, 1 around the Smokies, and about 5 in Jonesville. There could be some patches of fog, but nothing to write too much home about. Temperatures vary quite a bit this morning. From 69 in Crossville, while it might be 70 in Sevierville, it is 74 in Oak Ridge. We're starting off warm. We're starting off sticky. And temperatures in Knoxville at 72. But you look at the map, you can see looks like around 70 degrees in Jacksboro, 70 in Rockwood, 69 in Crossville, and 72 in Madisonville. Notice it's about 67 in Middlesboro, one of the cooler numbers we're seeing in terms of temperature right now, and 72 in Madisonville. Dew points are swampy. Very sticky at this time in the morning. 70 at the dew point in Knoxville at McGee-Tyson. We have a low 70s there in Oak Ridge and Maryville, so it is feeling more like the jungle than it does necessarily feel very comfortable. This is bad hair days. Yes, we're certainly in that time of year as summer officially gets started just 2 days from now. You can see there are some showers in Mississippi. Not a whole lot going on here, and where you see some orange, I'm looking up to the north there. Charleston, West Virginia, most of Pennsylvania. Even northern parts of Delaware and New Jersey under heat advisories. They are concerned that their hot weather is going to wear people down. And it could, certainly for this time of year. It is certainly going to be hot there. You can see it covers all of New York State. It looks like it covers parts of New England, from Vermont, parts of New Hampshire and Maine, while the storminess continues to fire up across northern Minnesota. In fact, I've got some notes here. See, we had 0. That's a good sign. 0 tornadoes yesterday in the lower 48, but there were 196 reports of damaging winds. Yesterday in Ohio, Wisconsin, western Pennsylvania, western New York State. So clearly a lot of wind damage, but no severe, no tornado reports at least yesterday. So that's a good sign. But certainly when you get that kind of wind, it obviously can have some damaging wind and take out some power. Certainly some power outages. If you're on the call, I want to say good morning to you. Debbie says, can you give a little update on Omaha? I certainly will. They're not going to expect any severe weather today. And I'm not expecting, well, actually, take that back. I'm thinking tomorrow's game. There's obviously games going on today, but the big game, of course, will be for Tennessee tomorrow. Wanda says, good morning, David. Everyone needs a moon pie milk. It's very good. I agree. Fred says, good morning, Hazy, hot and humid. He's loving his coffee at Weigel's. Good to see Fred here. Debbie saying good morning as well. I'm also on YouTube, so if you're on YouTube, I'll do my best to give you a shout out. Steve Stone's got his happy face. Good to see Steve there. He says good morning on the YouTube platform here on a Tuesday. Today is the 18th of June. Where did the time go? Feels like this calendar year is just flying by. But you can see there's more thunderstorm activity in parts of the Dakotas and into northern Minnesota this morning, while there is still some concern for tropical weather. Even though it might not be a direct hit, it's the amount of rain that parts of southeast Texas, certainly south of Corpus Christi, could feel the brunt of a storm that may or may not get a name. Meanwhile, you might be most concerned about smoke. I'm looking at smoke in Omaha that could add a little more haze to the atmosphere. Someone asked me yesterday, where's this coming from? There's all sorts of wildfires. You can Google it. You can find where the wildfires are, but it's following the smoke, the vertically integrated smoke for the whole column of air. It shows a lot of it's moving up toward Omaha, Nebraska. We have some wildfires going on in the southeast as well, and some of it wants to blow back here during the course of today. That might just add a little bit of the haze to the atmosphere. This takes us to about 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. Let's move this clock right to 8 a.m. on Wednesday. So even though the sun is shining, it might be just enough haze in the atmosphere that if you're really sensitive and if you really look closely, you see there's something in the air. It may not be that bad. It may not be debilitating, but the smoke is adding a little bit to the haze in the atmosphere, so it would appear heading into the day tomorrow as well. Let me jump ahead to the big story, right? We technically ended the heat wave yesterday by 1 degree. You say, what are you talking about? Well, around here in East Tennessee, 3 consecutive days at 90 or more is considered a heat wave. Now, that is not, I repeat, not the definition if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, or if you're in Dallas, Texas. They measure a heat wave by the fact that it doesn't get below 80 in the morning. Can you imagine us not getting below 80 in the morning? They have different definitions depending on where they are. But around here, if you don't hit 3 days at 90, you don't have a heat wave. And if you stop, like we did yesterday, we stopped at 89. So technically, I mean, if you're going to be real semantics, well, yeah, I know. Because you know what? We hit 89 on Thursday the 13th, and we hit 89 on Monday the 17th. But in Oak Ridge, they hit 90. So technically, they've had 5 days at 90 in Oak Ridge in Anderson County, but at McGee-Tyson, only 3. You see where the semantics come into here? But at least for the heat wave, I think we're back to 91 today. And I think tomorrow, Juneteenth, we might be back in the upper 80s. A little bit of a break before it gets real sticky heading into the rest of the week. Temperature right now, 74 Oak Ridge, 72 Knoxville. We've already covered this, but just wanted to let you know if you're just joining us this morning, it's a warm start, will be a warm finish. Dew points are in the 70-degree range for Knoxville. The dew point 69 in Jacksboro. That is a signature, classic situation where the humidity is certainly high. Temperatures around the state, 77 Nashville, 76 Chattanooga, and 75 in Memphis. Those are the current readings around the state and beyond. Not much wind to see this morning. Just 3 miles an hour. In Wartburg, it is 4. Now, we can, and we'll probably see, some spots of rain today. Some of you were commenting. Joanna, one of my premium members, said, boy, that escalated quickly. We did kind of a review of a 12-hour period on premium and showed, look how quickly these storms developed yesterday. Because some of you got wet. Some of you said, I didn't even know it rained. But that's just the way it went yesterday. Today might be about a 20% chance, but where it rains, it could pour simply because of the humidity. But I anticipate there will be some activity on the radar before midday today, if not early afternoon. Dew point temperatures, 70 here, 69 in Nashville, very sticky all across Tennessee and beyond. Anytime you're in the mid to upper 60s, that humidity is stuffy, and it will pull back, he says, a little bit tomorrow. That's 5 o'clock today in the afternoon, but it looks like it tries to pull out a little thinner there. Maybe the dew points drop in western North Carolina by 8 o'clock Wednesday, but you'll see by the time we hit Wednesday afternoon, it's not as sticky as it is perhaps now. But it'll come back, much like the tide at the beach. Tide of the ocean goes back and forth. That's the way we're going to be through midday Thursday, maybe a little bit of a pullback Thursday afternoon, but I fully suspect by the time we hit this weekend, the ickies and stickies will come racing back. So let me recap here at 6:48 where we are, and where we've been. We've already covered the fact that yesterday was only 89, but today, back to 91. Hazy, hot, humid, some stray showers, certainly in the offering. As we can see, the clouds might be in and out this morning, but it'll add a little more haze to the atmosphere. Sun did come up at 6:19, and days don't get much longer than they do today, tomorrow, and Thursday, because Thursday is the summer solstice. That is the day at which summer officially begins, astronomically speaking. But when you see a sunset at 8:55, oh, how sweet. Oh, how sweet it is if you like to walk your dog late in the afternoon or evening, because it doesn't really get dark till practically 9 o'clock. Out the door, yeah, temperature should be around 81 by 10 o'clock and 88 by 2 with hazy sun and clouds. And you'll notice there could be easily a high of 90 in Morristown, 90 in Kingston, but look for highs only in the mid-80s for Crossville. Crossville, Lake Tansy, Fairfield, Glade about 86 today, 88 for Oneida in Scott County. That's my expectation. Now, if you have heard, there's word that there's a possible tornado, not a tornado, a hurricane. No, not even that. Possible tropical cyclone. We like to call it PTC number 1. If this gets a name, it would be named Alberto. Alberto has the chance of forming right there in the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico. And where's it going to go? Probably right into Mexico. And you might think, well, that's good for them because at least that's not us. But hold the phone. Where do you think the heaviest rains will be? They'll be in South Texas. You mean this storm could like hit Mexico and it really hits the heaviest rain? The heaviest rains may be in South Texas, while the strongest winds may be down in Mexico. That's the concern. And if you want to know how much rain they could see, do you remember when South Florida got like 10 to 20 10 to 20 inches of rain with a no-name storm. Well, this is just PTC number 1. Potential. This shows like 13 inches south of Corpus Christi. Well, maybe south of Houston. South of Houston. Houston may be spared based on the track of this particular storm, but you could find 7, 10, 13, 14 inches of rain potentially in purple and white there in South Texas. Notice very little rain in Knoxville at the top of your screen. But there's going to be some pockets of very heavy rain in the Lone Star State. It may very well be south of Houston, where they're going to be dealing with some localized flooding. Flood watches are already in effect for many parts of that area. And if we take the calendar all the way into early July and to July 4th, yeah, we get some rain. It'll come back. Just be patient. We'll be getting some opportunities for rain down the road. I did mention the names this year. Alberto, Burl, and Chris are the first 3 names on the list. And Alberto may be named here in the next day or so if that storm, PTC number 1, potential tropical cyclone number 1, does in fact get a name from the Hurricane Center. They're the ones that are going to make that call. But it's interesting because their 7-day outlook only puts a 20% chance. I mean, it's kind of like a contradiction term. Is it going to form or is it not going to form? They may have to wait and see. But right now there's another spot off the coast of Florida and Georgia has a chance of development. But again, that's a 20% chance. Usually we see in the middle of June maybe a little uptick, but it pales in comparison to what we see in August and September. August and September is typically when things get very nasty in terms of hurricane season. I want to say good morning to you if you're on the call. Kelly says good morning on another beautiful day. Wanda Post says, what about the tropics? I think we're covering that now. Danny says, go Vols. Good morning, David. Hope you have a wonderful day. Stay cool. Go Vols. Hashtag GBO for baseball. I mean, everybody's having baseball fever now. We're all excited about our Vols, and of course, they're getting another full day of rest. Looks like today, as they'll be playing tomorrow, I think, afternoon. Headlines, hazy, hot, and humid today. Can't rule out a stray shower or a rumble of thunder. Not as hot on Juneteenth. That, again, has some question marks because it depends on where you are. I think mid to upper 80s will be more common, but, again, might be semantics. If it's 89 versus 90, it's 1 degree. But, again, if you're keeping track of heat waves, it may not be as hot tomorrow. But it will be hotter to end the week. I suspect we'll be in the mid-90s by Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday. Boo! Some say boo. Some say yay. If you need that illustrated graphically, look no further than the 5,000-foot temperatures. You can see the arrows all racing up here. There are some cool spots in blue. I'm looking at Rapid City, South Dakota. I'm looking at Winnipeg, Minneapolis. They've got some cool air rolling into town there. But as we head into the rest of the week, it stays hot, stays rather sticky, especially to end the week. Wanted to take you to Saturday. You'll see some of our yellow colors turning orange. Oh, orange. Probably by the time we hit Saturday afternoon, I think we got there 5:30. Oh, yeah, it's really hot. Temperature Saturday should be around 96. So we have the potential to be in the low to mid-90s across the board. Maybe pales in comparison to Oklahoma or Omaha, but certainly for this part of the world, low to mid-90s is pretty hot. The record high, by the way, I did take notes on this, 102. We hit 102 on this date in 1944. The only other date in June prior to this one was June the 8th. That was when the earliest we've ever hit 100. That was on June the 8th in 1933 during the Dust Bowl era, right? 1933, we hit 100 degrees Knoxville. 1933, earliest in the calendar to do so was June the 8th, but today is June 18th. We hit 102 in 1944. I love context. Maybe you do too, but just wanted to throw that out there for you. By the way, it's 6:54. My goal is to be done here in 6 minutes or less. By the way, 72 degrees. We had a north wind at northeast at 3 miles an hour. Here's my valley planner. Should reach about 91 today. I did leave a 20% chance of stray showers and rumbles of thunder, something to watch for sure. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the Moon Pie milk available for a limited time, check them out at Weigel's. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store, in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. I got to tell you what, this Moon Pie milk is delicious, and it does go great when you pair it with a chocolate moon pie. So the question is, do you eat the moon pie first and then sip the milk, or do you sip the milk and then drink the moon pie? I mean, eat the moon pie. It's one of those things where you go back and forth and say, that's good. Anyway, check them out. It's out of this world, and it's only around for a limited time. So I want to be sure you're aware of that. Hot and humid. You might want some comfort food at Weigel's. They're there to help serve as best they can. By the way, precipitation, 20% chance today. I got 0 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then a 20 to 30% coming in next week. So rainfall may be slim pickings, but when it rains, it can pour, as some of you noticed that yesterday. Some of you said, I didn't get anything. And those who said, oh, it escalated quickly. You can't have both, but you can, right? In East Tennessee in summer, you can have both. When you have a humid air mass, a humid environment, when it rains, it can pour. Notice as far as Omaha, I think Debbie was asking about them today, they have the potential for severe weather, so much so that the Storm Prediction Center has placed Omaha under scattered severe storms. So there could be some delays, potentially. I don't know the timing of this just yet. My focus is on East Tennessee, but I will say this, Omaha has the potential for severe weather here on a Tuesday. It also includes Minneapolis, St. Paul, and it includes parts of Kansas, western Kansas. Back to the east, you can see from Cleveland to Buffalo, all the way up toward even Syracuse, New York. They've got some isolated severe storms. It includes Pittsburgh, Columbus. They labeled a few areas in Tennessee that could get thunder. That would be Knoxville North, but even still, I think a 20% chance should cover it. Going into Wednesday, that's tomorrow, that's a big game day for Tennessee. Omaha is not, I repeat, not under severe weather concerns. They have some thunderstorms potentially, but of the general variety. It's 3 hot spots, South Texas because of the potential tropical cyclone. A lot of rain, maybe some isolated severe storms near Corpus Christi. North Texas near Amarillo could have a patch of severe weather on Wednesday, as could Milwaukee and Davenport, areas to the far north as well. But nothing going on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see maybe a little drop of the humidity on Juneteenth. That is a federal holiday. Banks and post office not working on Wednesday. Now I'll go up to the north and east. Buffalo, Rochester, New York, Albany, New York on Thursday could get some isolated severe storms, as could Portland, Maine, and parts of New England. We've got a quiet weather here day on Thursday. Thursday's high should be back down to up to about 91 degrees. It is now 6:57. My goal is to be done in 3 minutes or less, and you can see there's a little hint, right? I mean, well, it may be a little over-exaggerated from the model, but it does suggest with the heating of the day, voila, before and around midday, we could have a little passing shower. I didn't see that coming, and then it's gone by the drive home, right? Could be right from late morning, early afternoon, and then it's gone. That may be the way it plays out here on a Tuesday. Tonight, things will be partly to mostly cloudy, touch of fog. I have a dry day tomorrow. You can see why. Nothing to see here. How about Thursday? Thursday looks dry to me too. I don't see much going on. There might be a little bit of noise there in the Smokies, but I think overall it's a quiet pattern going into Friday as well as on Saturday. Saturday is going to be warm, if not partly cloudy. We'll be finishing Saturday around 96 degrees. So here's my future cast. I want to show you, pick out your favorite town. How warm do you think we could get till noontime? Because it's now 6:58. We could be in the mid-80s. 86 degrees. And you can see where this particular solution, where this particular model, as it were, puts some of the green dots. Some of those stray showers, as I'm describing it, might come over toward you. And maybe toward Jonesville, maybe north of Oneida by 2 o'clock this afternoon. But then it's gone. It's like fades away by 4 o'clock. Temperature should nudge about 91. There's 5 p.m. There in Knoxville, about 88 Wartburg by the end of the afternoon. And it's pretty quiet tonight. Think of it as partly to mostly cloudy. There'll be some residual clouds, some fog in the morning potentially, probably much like it is right now, only in spots. But that's the way things are shaping up. By Wednesday, tomorrow at noon, we're at 85. And may only reach the upper 80s. That seems to be the trend, at least for Juneteenth afternoon, Juneteenth meaning tomorrow. But as far as today is concerned, let's talk about it. It's now 6:59. The 3 H's, hazy, hot, humid, stray showers. Got a little note there, winds only 3 to 8 miles per hour. They're not that strong. 90 for Oak Ridge and Clinton. 90 for Maryville, Seymour, and 88 for Sevierville, Pigeon Forge. If you're in Morristown, White Pine, Talbot, Jefferson City, and Dandridge, you should have a high around 90. There's a lot of 90s to go around today. La Follette, Jacksboro, about 90, but hotter if you're headed west. Nashville, Music City, about 94. Only 90 in Charlotte, 85 in Asheville if you're headed due east. But tonight we're down to 68 degrees. Think of it as a partly to mostly cloudy sky. A little touch of fog by tomorrow morning. Winds are going to be light and variable. It's 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. straight up. We've got lows tonight, 68. That's not as humid as perhaps now. They may be taking a little bit of the edge off the overnight lows and the humidities, but 68 in Oak Ridge, 67 Morristown, and Maryville, 65 for Crossville. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. 88, that may go up to 89. Maybe it's 90 where you are, but it's certainly maybe not as hot. Certainly humidity be cut off a little bit tomorrow. Thursday, Friday, warming trend. 96 on Saturday, 95 on Sunday. And rain looks pretty limited even going into next week. 30% chance, but we will say hello. Hello, summer. Season's greetings at 4:50. That is the astronomical start of summer. So you might say, well, it's felt like summer for some time now. Yes, it has. But officially, astronomically, summer begins on Thursday. So that's why I put the sun there and the sunglasses. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the Moon Pie milk, it's available for a limited time at Weigel's. That means that everyone's favorite moon pie is now a sippable, tasteable, tasty treat. Check it out at a Weigel's near you. It's just better when it's fresh. Farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Very thankful for all of you. And the Moon Pie milk is a delicious addition to Weigel's many flavored creations. They are so creative. I love the fact that they're always thinking outside the box. Check it out, the Moon Pie milk. It is out of this world. The Eagle may have landed with the astronauts, but the Moon Pie milk has landed at a Weigel's near you. Just want to say good morning to you. Just say hello and say, if you've got a comment, just want to say a shout out. Linda Rice says, good morning, have a blessed day. Thank you, Linda. Debbie's giving me the old orange heart and the baseball. Orange and white, love it. Thank you so much, Debbie. Go Vols. And way these months are going, it's going to be football time in Tennessee. Wanda's already thinking she's ready for football. Some of us just want to see us come home with a victory, a national title there at the Men's College World Series in Omaha. Very exciting time for baseball in Tennessee. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate. By the way, pick up some of the hot coffee too, if that's you so desire. Maybe a cool drink for a day today. But check it out at Weigel's near you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.